Have you ever wondered what is guiding your life, personal decisions, or perhaps a destiny preordained? Are each step and each turning point of our own choosing, or are they merely how we traverse a path that has already been laid out? Welcome to the Ancient Wisdom Channel, where we explore the deep secrets of life through the stories and philosophies of the ancients. Let's look at the journeys of the great figures in history. Zhuge Liang, with his extraordinary intellect and unwavering loyalty, or Steve Jobs, an icon of strong will and unceasing creativity. They have left us great lessons, but was their journey driven by free will or the guidance of destiny? On the Ancient Wisdom Channel, we will trace the footsteps of great thinkers, from Lao Tzu, who believed that tranquility is the key to freedom, to Confucius, who valued inner strength and self-cultivation. Through each story and each philosophy, we will delve into the challenging question: is fate a fixed mold, or is it something for us to rise above and master? So what do you think? Is destiny truly a limit, or do we hold the key to our own lives? Join us to explore and ask questions so that each video becomes a journey of discovery for your intellect and yourself. Have you ever stopped, looked at your life, and asked yourself if everything that is happening is part of some plan that was drawn up in advance? The successes, the failures, the joys, the sorrows, even the random moments, could they all have been arranged by an invisible hand guiding us through each turning point in life? Some say that our fate is like a flowing stream. Once it has begun, it can only follow the current, impossible to change. But there are also those who believe that with each choice, each decision, we can mold and adjust that stream little by little to create our own path. Philosophers from ancient times have constantly questioned fate. Lao Tzu once said, "Those who follow the Tao are free with their fate." Could destiny just be a part of the journey, and the way we choose to face and accept it is what truly gives meaning to life? Think about it. When facing each major decision, each important choice in life, we stand between two possibilities. One is to resign ourselves, believing that we cannot change our fate, and the other is to persevere, continuing with the belief that no matter the outcome, we are the ones in control. Is destiny a guiding force, or just a limit that we inadvertently set ourselves? Let's embark on this journey of discovery about destiny, a journey that not only revolves around the question of what destiny is, but also ignites deeper thoughts on whether we can overcome what is called fate, or whether accepting it freely is the key to freedom. A journey where we will put ourselves in the place of those who lived thousands of years before us, to see the true nature of humanity in this vast universe. Have you ever felt like life is a current carrying us to places we didn't expect, meeting people we never thought we would, and experiencing moments that make us wonder if everything is unfolding according to a script we don't know? If everything has been preordained, from joy to sorrow to unexpected turning points, then does our effort and struggle really bring anything? Or will everything ultimately return to a result that has been arranged? There is a perennial question that has made countless people think for thousands of years. What is destiny? Is it truly a path that has been drawn from when we were born until we leave this world? Or is destiny just how we interpret what has happened, like a map we look back on after everything is over? There are times when we feel like we're being swept along by the current of life, having no control over what happens. But then there are other times when we believe that every decision and every small action we take can change our lives in a new direction. So is it precisely this freedom of choice, this ability to change, that makes life more meaningful? And if so, what is truly more powerful, the power of destiny or the power of free will? Destiny and free will, two concepts that seem opposing but intertwine in life. Destiny is the arrangement of the universe, the paths that seem to have been drawn that we must walk. But free will is our power to change, to rise above what has been set before us, to create a new path with our own hands. Every time we stand before a turning point in life, are we really choosing a new path, or are we just following a pre-existing route? Is it that every time we make a decision, we are building a part of our lives, or are we simply fulfilling something that has been ordained? Perhaps life is the intersection of what has been ordained and what we create from our decisions. Lao Tzu once said, Those who follow the Tao are free with their fate. What did he mean? Is fate actually a part of the journey, the things that we need to accept? And is it only when we accept destiny that we can find peace in this life? What do you think? Are we truly free in what we do, or is everything determined by a force beyond our understanding? Or is it that every time we are determined to change, at that moment we are overcoming the power of destiny with our courage and determination? Let's embark on this journey together to explore and contemplate whether destiny is an undeniable truth, a limit of human life, or whether it is our free will, our inner strength, that truly decides. Let the perennial questions about destiny and free will guide us into the depths of ourselves to explore and find the answer for yourself. Zhuge Liang, a name that has become a symbol of wisdom, talent, and foresight in Chinese history. He was one of the most talented strategists in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, a person whose talent was not merely military tactics, but also a deep understanding of people and time. Throughout his life, Zhuge Liang dedicated himself to the Shu Han dynasty, sacrificing his youth, health, and passion to realize the ideal he pursued, unifying China under one flag. But what makes us wonder is why a person so talented and determined could not change the fate of Shu Han. Even though Zhuge Liang used all his intellect, could he really change an outcome that had been predetermined? At times, Zhuge Liang felt like a person playing a game of chess, holding excellent moves in hand, meticulously calculating each one. He constantly put forward strategies, from the 7 captures of Menghuo to the northern expeditions. Each campaign seemed to be a time when he put his life and passion into it, but in the end, those efforts were not enough to change the situation. Is Zhuge Liang's failure proof of what is called destiny? Is it true that despite his outstanding talent, he was just a pawn in a larger game where each move and each outcome had been decided by the universe in advance? Compared to other characters in the Three Kingdoms, Zhuge Liang had a vision that went beyond ordinary interests and the struggle for power. But even when he foresaw the dangers, he could not completely change the fate of Shu Han. His whole life was like a candle burning to illuminate the path, but that candle eventually faded when destiny arrived. In his final moments of contemplation, he probably asked himself if those efforts really changed anything, or if everything was just a part of destiny that he could not escape. The story of Zhuge Liang makes us reflect on the boundary between the ability to change and the power of fate. Can we change destiny with the power of will and talent? Or are we ultimately just participants in a larger play where each role has been prearranged? Zhuge Liang's journey is not only a war with external enemies, but also a struggle with his own destiny. But no matter what the outcome, he lived fully with his ideals, leaving posterity a lesson about perseverance, will, and loyalty. And then the final question remains, is the fate of each of us also a pawn in the great game of the universe? And if so, how will we choose to walk in our journey? Or like the story of Steve Jobs, the founder and creative soul behind Apple, a testament to the power of will, determination, and belief in oneself. Unlike Zhuge Liang, Steve Jobs was not a believer in preordained fate. He was an icon of a person who dared to walk his own path, dared to try and fail, and then rise from that failure to build the most influential technology empire in the world. Steve Jobs was not only a technologist, but a pioneer who constantly sought creativity and perfection. From leaving Apple, the company he himself founded, to the years of rebuilding his career and returning to lead Apple to new heights, each of Jobs' decisions was a bold step, a testament to his belief in free will. For him, life was a series of bold choices, and each choice was a time when he drew his fate. As he once said, "Don't live someone else's life. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." But the question here still remains, was Steve Jobs' success destiny, or the result of bold choices and unwavering perseverance? Was destiny arranged for him to become a technology legend, or did his determination to overcome all obstacles bring him to that position? When placing the stories of Zhuge Liang and Steve Jobs side by side, we can see two different images in the context of destiny and free will. Zhuge Liang, with his wisdom and excellent strategies, is like a person walking in the darkness of destiny, constantly trying to change but still having to face the arrangement. Steve Jobs, on the other hand, is the embodiment of free will, of absolute determination to change the world with his own hands, with choices that no one dares to choose. The story of Zhuge Liang is an example of the limitation of man before destiny. Although he exhausted all his intellect and used all strategies, he ultimately could not save Xu Han from decline. Meanwhile, Steve Jobs' journey is a testament to the power of human will. A person who constantly overcame failure, a person who believed that each of his decisions would create its own outcome and fate. In the end, the question is raised whether fate can be changed by individual will, or whether great people like Zhuge Liang and Steve Jobs, despite their differences in paths, are still only victims of a destiny that has been arranged from before. This question opens up profound reflections on the role of fate and human will. Perhaps there are limits that people cannot overcome, or does true greatness lie in the indomitable will, the belief in oneself to go to the very end of the path one has chosen? Have you ever gone through periods where, no matter how hard you try, all efforts don't bring the results you expect? Maybe it's when you've spent your youth on a project, a job, but the final result is still out of reach, as if there's an invisible barrier preventing you from getting close to what you want. Is this destiny, a reminder that there are things we cannot change no matter how hard we try? Conversely, there are also times when success comes unexpectedly, as if the universe has bestowed upon you a gift, an unexpected opportunity, a companion appearing at the right time, making everything much easier than expected. There are times when you will ask yourself if this is destiny, if everything has been arranged. So what about in love and marriage? In matters of love, the concept of destiny and fate becomes even clearer. Do you believe that each person we meet in life has a reason, that important relationships have been preordained? Perhaps you have met a special person, and whether you want to or not, life still pushes you and that person to meet again, making you wonder if this is fate, a relationship that has been arranged from before. But at the same time, do we have the right to choose our spouse, that nothing is destined, and that everything is the result of our decisions? We choose how to love, how to build relationships, and decide to commit to that person on the long journey. So is love and marriage fate, or just the free will of ourselves? What about in career, profession, and passion? Some people seem to have a natural talent for art, business, or helping others. Looking at them, we see the naturalness in each step, as if they were born to pursue that path. Is this destiny, that each person has a tendency, a role that has been set from before, or can we choose any path we want and turn passion into a career through constant effort? Perhaps passion is not something predetermined, but is the result of personal decisions, of a journey of self-discovery and choice in the end. Perhaps the question lies in how we perceive and accept life. Is destiny just the situations that happen on the outside, and the important thing is how we face them? There are things in life that we cannot change, and it is in accepting and finding meaning in what has happened to us that we truly find inner peace. Or is life not about accepting or rejecting destiny, but about finding the balance between striving to change and knowing when to let go? Perhaps the meaning of life does not lie in trying to grasp fate, but in living our best in every moment, even knowing that maybe not everything is under our control. To understand about destiny and free will, we can return to the philosophies of the ancients, those who have spent their lives reflecting on the nature of life and people. Two figures representative of two different approaches are Lao Tzu and Confucius. Each brings a profound but complementary perspective, helping us have a more balanced view of the relationship between destiny and individual will. Lao Tzu's philosophy of the Tao and acceptance. Lao Tzu, the master of Taoism, emphasized the philosophy of Wu Wei, meaning acting without acting, and valued living in harmony with nature, following the Tao. He once wrote, "Living in harmony with the Tao is living in peace." This concise statement contains a profound philosophy of life, accepting and immersing oneself in the flow of life instead of resisting or trying to change everything. Lao Tzu's Tao is not passive acceptance, but an understanding that there are things beyond human ability to change, and that living in peace with what one can control is the only way to achieve peace. Living in harmony with the Tao, according to Lao Tzu, is a way to reach freedom. He recognized that there are things in life that, whether we want it or not, we cannot control. So instead of confronting and trying to mold them, we can learn to accept. Perhaps the journey of human growth does not lie in controlling everything, but in understanding when to stop and when to let go. Confucius's view of individual will. Unlike Lao Tzu, Confucius, the Confucian thinker, focused more on the importance of self-cultivation to create human value. Confucius once said, "The strong person is the one who dares to conquer himself." According to Confucius, the true power of humans does not lie in changing the external world, but in the ability to train and overcome the limitations within themselves. Confucius's statement suggests that even if we cannot change all the circumstances around us, we can still change ourselves. Individual will does not necessarily have to contradict destiny, but can become a tool to adapt to and overcome the challenges that life puts before us. Confucius believed that self-control and strong will would help each person become free in their own way, because when we overcome ourselves, all surrounding circumstances become less important. The harmony between destiny and free will. The philosophies of Lao Tzu and Confucius, although seemingly opposed, complement each other, creating a unique harmony. One side is acceptance, being at peace with what cannot be changed. The other side is inner strength, the will to overcome oneself. Both of these viewpoints point to a common path, that we cannot completely control fate, but can control how we face it. Finally, this leads us to a question. Can destiny and free will coexist? Perhaps life is a combination of both of these elements. There are things that come to us as part of destiny, such as unavoidable challenges, but there are also moments and choices that only we can decide. Destiny may be the context, the random events, but free will is how we react, how we shape and create meaning from it. Live peacefully like Lao Tzu, but persistently and bravely overcome yourself like Confucius. This may be the path of harmony between destiny and free will. This harmony not only helps us find peace, but is also the way to live fully, to constantly improve ourselves in this uncertain world. Destiny, after all, is not a sentence forcing people to obey, but a framework for us to explore and understand more about ourselves. It is like a map with main roads already drawn, but each turning point, each curve, is still within the choice of each person. Destiny cannot control how we feel, how we face difficulties, and how we find meaning in each experience. What we can change is how we receive what happens, with calmness and wisdom, so that each moment is an opportunity to learn and grow. When we look deeply into the nature of destiny, we will realize that the true power lies within each person. It is the confrontation, acceptance, and effort to overcome that makes the difference. No matter what destiny brings, our attitude and determination are the decisive factors in how we write the story of our lives. And finally, the big question still remains, opening up space for each person to find their own answer. What do you think? Has your life been predetermined, or are you the one holding the key? Is destiny a guiding force or a limit of man? The answer perhaps lies within you.